I'm a dreamer, so I've always had big dreams and big goals in life.
There's some beauty out there that I need to discover.
And I've always wanted to become a sports agent, and you have to go to law school for that. So,
ever since I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor.
I came out of drug rehab, and that's how I saw some other addicts in there going to school.
College never was like an option. It was like you have to do it because I'm the youngest and everybody else in my family went to college.
My dad didn't finish high school, my mom, my grandparents, and they wanted to see a change. So I'm a white sheep in a black sheep family, basically.
And that's what's got me on the boat, on the college boat. It's because of my children, and me, knowing that I can take care of them in the future because they're still young.
I was a dishwasher. I really don't want to do this for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Colleges was something that was in my head, like I need to get out of here.
I was like, I'm gonna change everything. It's not gonna be the same as high school. I'm gonna succeed. I'm not gonna fail.
Education wasn't as important to me in my community as it should have been. Systematically, education haven't been for people of color.
When I graduated from middle school, the principal was like, half of you guys will graduate from high school, half of you guys will not even make it.
The options aren't there in the inner city, in the urban communities. It's you're either an athlete or you hustling.
I kind of got myself into sports. I think that was the gateway for me to not get in trouble.
I never was at school. I was, but then every time I went, I got suspended.
I had all AP classes and I had everything, I was on that track to go, the college prep track is. So, like I said, sometimes, I know I let them down. I let myself down mainly.
When I did the work, I did it correctly and I did it complete. I always had good grades, but I was always just ditching, you know what I mean? So the ditching was my downfall.
I don't think the teachers, in my opinion, had any expectations. You went to school, you got enough. If you passed, you passed. If you didn't, you didn't. They didn't care either way. That's how I felt.
I actually did very good in my English exams and the ACTs in high school. I the lead top of the class, and the professor told me, "Oh, well, you're the exception."
For me, a lot of teachers who didn't know me, they just thought this based on my appearance, he's not going to be nothing. But I always kept 3.5 or above in high school. I took high school very serious.
I think they expected me to be more successful because I wasn't really of the more color of a Mexican.
And I struggled a great deal because I thought, well, you're not going to get anything, so you're just going to have to work a lot harder, which seemed to be the theme throughout my life, is you have to work harder than the white guy does just to get close.
A lot of times, you hear from people that never go to college, why are you going to college? And they start making fun of you, or you see this guy who is your same age working and he's getting good money. And I think just change the environment because there's a lot out there more for you.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You might lose some people, but they ain't your people if they're trying to keep you back. Don't let no one tell you that you can't do something because you here.
You grow up and you can even become aware of the own statistics that you face, that you should technically fall into, and then it becomes a game to beat your own expectations, which I think is really, really important at that point.
And he told me, he said, so the odds are against you. He said, you're going to fail. He said, you're going to fail because that's what statistics say. But then he told me, he said, but statistics are just statistics. He said, you have to break that. So you have to break that. And still to this day, that stuck with me. And I'm glad that, you know, now I broke that.
But getting here, stepping on the campus, knowing that I'm in class, I'm fresh, I'm about to start, felt great.
While I'm still stressing my past and I'm still thinking I'm the bad guy, you know, a lot of them were like, Ray, your past doesn't mean anything. We don't care about your past. You know, it's just, we see you for who you are today.
I was sort of confident when I first came here. I was thinking I'm going to college, you know. This is, my mama, my daddy, ain't nobody been to college and stuff. I'm gonna be the first one that came here.
I got here and I was prepared, you know, I was ready to like fend for myself, but I didn't even have to.
I was scared of administration because my experience with administrations at that time was always I was getting pulled in because I did something.
I kind of didn't really know what to expect. It was really like, you know, I'm out of my usual surroundings. I was like, oh, you know, what do I do? Where am I gonna go? Who am I gonna talk to?
They think that you need to know what you want to do. It's like the first time you go to Starbucks, you don't know what to do, this and that, and they just like, give me your money and next. I mean, that's why I'm here. I just need some orientation.
When I first came here, I was very hard-headed. Orientation, I didn't listen to it. I thought, oh, it'd be a piece of cake. And I found out that I was so wrong on that. That's what made me mess up on a lot of classes, not taking advantage of the opportunity that they had.
I did the placement. I went to the placement center and took the test, and then I came out and I was like, I'm dead.
I got overwhelmed sometimes with a full load, not knowing, have been out of school for so long.
There's a lot of homework, a lot of research work, a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
It's a remedial math class, so I mean, you're there for a reason because you need that help. If no one's there to help you with that, then how are you supposed to pass?
And so I took math, English, psychology, and I think I took on too much at one time.
Black men that don't have any guidance, then they just go all around and they kind of lost. But black men who have guidance, they have people there that just hold on to them so tight.
You know how Latinos are. You got to reach out to them. You got to touch them, right? Or somebody's got a friend that's in a friend that knows a friend. So I made my community in the writing center. Bunch of great kids, you know, and so I'm like the old man there, right?
I had set my goals really low, and after meeting Felipe, he believed in me, and he allowed me to be able to see that I could do more.
You know, they was very helpful in advising me to get into some groups, you know, and stuff like that. So after I got to getting into groups, talking to other people.
You know, I get a lot of help through going through programs here at this facility, you know, and I wish I had realized it a long time ago. I don't tell you how many years, a long time ago.
Personally, I think the TRIO program is like that support. Like, say for instance, you run the marathon and you almost there, but you ain't there yet, and you need some water, and you know somebody's over there like, here, you know, they give you that extra boost to. I don't think I can make it without the TRIO program, flat out.
When I came in, I had several teachers that would tell me, at the beginning, the first day in their class, you're starting out with an A. Don't lose your A. And that stuck with me. And even when I got in classes where the teacher didn't tell us that, my mind was stuck. I'm starting with an A, and I'm finna fight to keep this A.
My counselor and my English instructor always motivated me and always expect more of me, so I like that.
She had high expectations in me, and it was like she walked me through this class like, you can do it.
You're not only expected to finish, like you're supposed to finish. And having that perspective is like, now you're carrying a weight of responsibility. Now it's not like I'm not just doing it for myself,
but I'm representing my family. I'm representing my college. I'm representing my community.
She's engaging and she entices you to participate. And it's through participation and interaction, you retain information more.
I think it's really teachers who ask questions and give you materials that are thought-provoking, you know, and that's what really wraps me in.
We went to the art museum downtown, and then we went to the Manil last Saturday. Well, reading and looking at pictures is fun too, but getting out is better.
They offer internships. I did 2 internships, and one was 1 day a week, and I go out there the whole day and be an actual mechanic and working on diesel trucks and stuff like that to reinforce the skills that they taught me inside the classroom, and that was real helpful.
I know I'm a very lazy person, so so I just every time I went to the library, I used to go there to sleep. But once I saw my friends there, they studying, so I used to study with them, and I used to pass my test because of that.
And what makes it more fun and engaging is, I think, is when they devise group projects, and you want to learn with them. You want to, get to talk to them, get to learn together more, and advance together.
What I expect in the class is a helpful teacher, a teacher that's just going in there to lecture, like, all right, open your book up to this page, whatever. A teacher that goes in there and shares their experiences, that's interested in the students.
Like if the instructor is open and communicative and opens up the classroom and like lets the nerves settle, because I know a lot of people come like they're nervous, they don't like to be seen in a public area or say the wrong thing out loud.
One of the teachers, when I got a bad grade in his class, he said, look, if you tell your teacher that you're having some problems, they have to help you. And I took that and I ran with it. So anytime I need help, I let the teacher know immediately and I get help.
My math teacher, like, he automatically sent an email, I'm really worried because you missed the whole week, what is going on, tell me. And when I came back, he was telling me, I really care for you, and that's why I'm kind of tough on you, because you are a very good student.
Put it this way, the ones that understand the concept of I have to put this in real life for these people to get it, those are the teachers that are more successful. Those are the teachers that will be spoken about when you have little groups like this, because they're the ones that stick.
You can't escape that subtle feeling that society has on a whole, that Hispanics are not your prospective students, you know?
I received some interest from Ivy Leagues and I wanted to go. And they said, yeah, they'll accept you, especially because you're a minority. That's like I'm like, is that the only reason why I can get into an Ivy Leagues, because it's predominantly white school and I'm a minority? It's not because of, I have good grades or I'm smart.
I only had one African-American teacher. And one of the things he talked about was how he got his PhD from Princeton University. And I was kind of taken back by his accomplishments. What he did was kind of put it to perspective that you shouldn't be limiting yourself based on your preconceived notions of what the world is like.
A lot of my instructors are unfamiliar as far as I'd like to see something familiar. And I'm talking about another Latino. I don't see that. I'm not represented.
I mean, you're talking about my freshman year, I guess, in college, before I even met another Hispanic that was in academia, and there was a time where he had pulled me aside and said, you remind me a lot of me coming up, and he was like, you can do this.
But sometimes it can be inspiration, to see a black professional that has a PhD and stuff like that, because we need positive people in our life,
I feel as if I had a Hispanic instructor, I would look at him more as a role model.
And she would relate to you because you're black, and she's black too. And she's, she didn't grow up having money either.
Well, Mrs. Carmen, she's white, and she love all her students, and she want to see you. She want to see you make it. I ain't gonna lie. She would push herself so hard just to see you make it. And I respect her for that. It ain't about color. It's about the teacher.
I think it is good for people's psyche on one side to see somebody of your race be successful. I get that part. But to me, that's kind of like a segregation mentality. And I thought people were trying to come out of that. And in my eyes, I'm a man first, and then I'm black after that. Everybody's the same. We all got hearts, you know what I'm saying, lungs, everything like that. So it shouldn't matter, like, the color somebody is, if they teaching you something or how successful they are. To me, that's like us moving backwards.
I agree with him because the color of your skin should not determine if you're gonna learn something from them or not. But if, say I'm in the back of the class struggling and my instructor is white, that's when skin color comes into effect. You wanna have somebody you can relate to, somebody who understands the struggle you've been through.
See, there's the problem right there. Like, everybody has a pre-notion that every white person grows up with a silver spoon. It's broke white people. It's broke every race.
I understand, but what if you know that white person, like?
What if you meet a black teacher that was like Uncle Phil off Fresh Prince, just rich?
Then you wouldn't relate to him.
But I'm saying, why does it have to be about race then?
Have somebody you can relate to.
So, okay, so don't say skin color, just say relate to.
It is not easy to recruit and retain men of color. It is not easy work.
For African American males, for Latino males, having an understanding of their history, their background, what they're dealing with.
And so we recognize that if you just let students sort of float around in that area of not really knowing if they can and not really knowing if they what they want to do, if they can do it, then what will happen is they float around for a little while and then they leave. But if you find a way to anchor them and to help them in those early stages, then you can keep them and retain them.
I think it's time to start that conversation. How do we fund those programs that we know work and we know that are sorely needed?
I think at some point, no matter what, it's got to get down to the classroom level, because the most beautiful program in the world is going to fall apart if the student isn't passing the classes. They're not going to stay here.
It's very challenging to ask a student to become something they rarely see.
I think we've done an excellent job at diversifying our student population, but we have a long ways to go in regards to our employees.
Particularly, we need to empower everybody. In particular, I think we need to empower our staff.
One of the questions we're asking on the survey is, of employees, do you feel comfortable discussing issues of diversity and inclusion? Because if we don't feel comfortable in whatever environments that we're in having these conversations, how are we going to be able to do it with students?
The biggest voice on campus are the students. If they start to speak, you need to start to listen to the students, okay?
Show up and work hard. Believe in yourself that you can do this. You can accomplish whatever obstacles may be placed in front of you. There's always a solution to the problem that you're facing.
The challenge might be our background, how we were brought up, how, education-wise, but it's nothing that we can't do.
One of my sayings that I learned a long time ago is you can't allow circumstances to make decisions for you.
Pride holds us back a lot because we don't want to reach out for help. But now I'm starting to see a different trend. Brothers will reach out for some help to move forward in school and stuff like that.
In my first semester, I had 3 A's and a B. And I said, I can do it.
Before, I used to think I was a number, and I was just another number. Now, in college, I'm a voice. I walk the hallways like I'm a celebrity, pretty much.
Before, it was just go to college and just get a job. But now you can be the president of the United States. So, opportunities are unlimited now.
We're not just another statistic or a stereotype. I mean, it's just the fact that we're proving them wrong. We're here and we're here to stay.
We got to figure out why people keep falling in the river. You don't just keep jumping in and saving that one individual. You run upstream and you figure out why are they falling in.